wealth, business, investment conquests, savagery, and harsh truths. Not many people alive today match Kevin O'Leary in the categories mentioned above, especially in the savagery and harsh truth department. Goodbye, you're dead to me. They're going to crush you like a cockroach as you are. Your tears don't add any value. No, that's not Cinderella's evil stepmother addressing her. That's just Kevin O'Leary dashing the hopes of budding entrepreneurs that pitch their business ideas to him on the famous reality TV show Shark Tank. In what has to be the mother of all ironies, he is somehow famous for his self-given moniker, Mr. Wonderful. While that's not the name of many of the entrepreneurs who have experienced his sharp tongue will refer to him as they recount their harrowing experiences, Kevin O'Leary certainly thinks of himself as absolutely wonderful. And when you have a network of roughly $400 million, you are exactly who you think you are. Whether or not you consider Kevin O'Leary's personality to be wonderful, there is no doubting this enigma of a man is one of the wonders of the business world. He has earned billions of dollars from software and has masterminded the development of one of the largest storage facilities in Canada. He has become an expert investor from venture capital to cryptocurrency. He has found inevitable success as a TV personality and author of self-help books. Mr. Wonderful has walked several fields of life and has conquered them all. But his route to financial freedom has been unorthodox to say the least. However, he has had the help of an amazing role model in his mother and an unsung hero in his stepfather. And of the greatest importance, he was powered by a fierce and unquenchable motivation to be successful. A motivation that stemmed from one unforgettable and shocking incident that played out on an otherwise unremarkable day in Ottawa, changing his life forever in the process. Are you eager to learn the secrets behind Mr. Wonderful's $400 million net worth? This is the true story of a man unknown to many, was forged into a legend respected by all. It all started on Kenaston Avenue, Montreal, Canada, on July 9, 1954, when Kevin was born into a small family of 2 children and 2 loving parents. It didn't stay that way for long, though. Kevin's father, who worked as a salesman, developed an alcohol addiction that created friction between his parents and ultimately led to their divorce. It did not take too long for things to get even uglier. His father died a short while after the separation. Kevin was only 7 years old at the time. Fortunately, his mother Georgette demonstrated a financial astuteness that kept his family above water. She ran a small business, invested in large-cap, dividend-paying stocks, and saved a third of her weekly earnings. By observing her, she effectively became Kevin's first business school teacher. She didn't have to do it alone for too long, as she soon got married to George Kanawati, an economist who worked with the UN's International Labor Organization. His demanding job meant the family did a lot of intercontinental migration. Kevin has lived in Asia, Africa, and Europe before he even got to high school. This exposure to different beautiful places and cultures would inspire his interest in photography. Still, his stepfather had a more lasting impact on him than his love for cameras. You see, Kevin was closer to the wild side during his teenage years. His stepfather specifically noted his unpredictability and need for guidance. So he provided Kevin with exactly that. With inspiring conversations that influenced Kevin's decision to enroll in the Ivy Business School at the University of Western Ontario. And there he bagged an MBA in entrepreneurship. But there was one more contributing factor to that decision. 2 simple words would accidentally light the path that Kevin eventually took to becoming Mr. Wonderful. You're fired. I'll never forget this place. It was very profound what happened to me here. I could buy this place and bulldoze it if I wanted to. Kevin recalled not so fondly upon revisiting the mall in Ottawa, where he worked as a teenager and made the decision to never ever work for anyone else again in his life. He came to this decision on the second day of working as an ice cream scooper at Magoo Ice Cream Parlor. The owner of the ice cream shop gave Kevin a simple instruction: get down on your knees and scrape the gum off the floor. However, Kevin was unwilling to do this for 2 reasons. Scraping gum off the floor was not part of the job description when he was hired. Secondly, he was not about to risk the embarrassment of being spotted doing something like that not with tons of cute girls roaming the mall. So he said no, to which the owner responded, "You're fired. Get out of my ice cream store." A teary-eyed Kevin rode home on his bike, terribly shocked and mortally embarrassed. On getting home, he swore to his father that he would never again be an employee of someone else. He would never again put himself in a position where someone else had that much control over his life, and he stayed true to that solemn vow. Kevin O'Leary is famous for his pivotal role at SoftKey, but his first attempt at entrepreneurship actually came before that. He co-founded a television production company called Special Event Television. The TV station focused on sports programs and achieved decent success. One of Kevin's partners bought him out of the business for $25,000 after a few months. Then Kevin had the idea to get into the software industry. Many Americans were just beginning to purchase personal computers in their home. So it was inspired thinking on his part. In 1986, he used the $25,000 from the buyout to start SoftKey. This software company would eventually be worth billions of dollars in little over a decade. SoftKey software products may have had a glorious ending, but their start was as rough as it gets. Kevin and his two business partners, John Freeman and Gary Babcock, were left in limbo when an investor who pledged $250,000 made a U-turn just before putting pen to paper. Kevin's mother did put in $10,000 in seed capital, but they were still very much short on funds. And that meant they had to start small, like a basement of an apartment in Toronto small. The company also faced stiff competition, coupled with the fact that the educational software market in which software chose to major in wasn't exactly the most lucrative. It was going to be an uphill battle to achieve success, but if anyone was up to the task, it was Kevin O'Leary. Realizing that the software discs were no different from any other retail products, he doubled down on packaging and marketing until he found strategies that yielded results. First, he took their product from software stores and into general stores such as Wilson Stationery's, Office Depot, and Radio Shack. Next, SoftKey blazed a trail using revolving CD racks and CD jewel cases, which allowed them to display a higher volume of their product in the limited shelf space. It's not all about technology anymore. It's about marketing, merchandising, brand management, and shelf space. In the cat food business, that's all that matters. And in software, that's all that matters. The final ace up Kevin's sleeve was prioritizing volume sold over price per unit. As such, SoftKey sold its products at a much lower price than most software products were going for at the time. This meant they didn't make much profit per CD, but the massive number of copies they sold was able to compensate for this. Thanks to Kevin's strategy brilliance, SoftKey grew, thrived, and revolutionized the software industry along the way. They expanded by acquiring a total of 14 rival companies via hostile takeover bids along the way. In 1999, Mattel acquired SoftKey for $4.2 billion. Unfortunately, the acquisition proved to be a ticking time bomb for Mattel, and it's often described as one of the most disastrous takeovers in modern history. But Kevin O'Leary had left before the meltdown occurred, and he left richer than he could ever have possibly imagined. Kevin has always been of the opinion that entrepreneurs should never chase money, but the freedom that comes with money. Well, the $4.2 billion acquisition of SoftKey by Mattel afforded Kevin an immeasurable level of freedom. Considering the hard work he had put in over the years, it is hard to begrudge him this deserved freedom. Since the turn of the century, his moves in the world of business has since been largely limited to investment companies. He founded O'Leary's Funds and O'Leary's Ventures. He has also dabbled in gold and cryptocurrency investments. Kevin's new policy is only to invest in minimal risk ventures. Although this approach will probably mean his net worth may never reach billions of dollars, and that is a reality he's comfortable with. His financial freedom has also allowed him more time to explore his artistic and creative sides. Besides Shark Tank, Kevin has made numerous TV appearances. He also has a YouTube channel where he shares his profound insights into the world of entrepreneurship and finance, and the channel is rapidly approaching 600,000 subscribers. He has been able to reconnect to his first love, photography, collecting cameras and hosting exhibitions for his pictures from time to time. And the word from experts in the field is that when it comes to cameras and photos, Kevin O'Leary is indeed Mr. Wonderful. Leave us a comment in the section below about the most interesting facts you learned from our case study. Stay golden, team, and we'll see you in the next video.